Hello and welcome back after a happy new year and a good Christmas. This is our first talk of the year for Fida of 2022 or 2022. And we've got the amazing Francesco here, one of our ambassadors. And he's got an interesting journey. He's now moved to France. So he can kind of explain and share a little bit of that. But the main goal is to really discuss this amazing book. I've got two copies, and we're hoping to either give one away or someone's going to win one for doing an amazing drawing. We're still planning an idea of how to get people, because this is such a great book. And my wife and my kids not only loved your work and loved the book, but they like the other books they produced, this publisher. And I feel like I'm doing an advertisement for them, but I'm not. But their books in general are really good. So I guess the first thing is, Francesco, is to explain the approach of the book, when you approached, and the initial discussion that you had when making it.
Well, actually, it was kind of by chance anyway. It wasn't really like scheduled, and it was really the beginning of the first lockdown in London. And so I think since everything was stuck, I was trying to look for new ways of working with people, with clients. And so since any live work was, of course, halted, I thought of reaching out, different kind of clients. So because I'm mainly working with fashion brands, so I thought like, okay, I have some time. Let's do something different. So I reached out to some publishers, but honestly, like the aim of my emails and messages was mainly, to have some brief work, maybe some covers. Something like that. I wasn't really thinking about whole book. And so, something David and Charles, the editor, Amy, was like one of the first one getting back to me. And I think she loved my work, my watercolor style. And she was like, have you ever thought about like creating your own book? And I think like when I started working as an illustrator, I think I had this kind of dream, creating your own book. I think it's quite common for illustrators to have this dream at some point in their career. And so like I always dreamt about that, but I never think, okay, what am I going to do to make it? Because honestly, I had the time, or I was just client after client. So it was like, okay, I think now it's the right moment. So this was really the first approach. Like, and when she asked me, would you like to get your own book? I was still doubtful because I don't know, was like, am I able to do this? I don't know. And so, we started talking about deadlines and try to give an estimate of the work. And then, and it was like signing the contract and like first meeting over Zoom with the whole team to really focus on the contents of the book. And then after that was like, okay, we'll go. I started work on it.
And I guess like going through the book, and I've been following some of the people posting online who've been sort of inspired by the book. And I know, like I was explaining to you earlier, that my kids have looked at this book and sort of they will reference it.
Great.
Who do you think will be the main sort of people this will target to?
Honestly, I think in quite natural ways, really, we thought about that. I mean, at least personally, I didn't think a lot about that. Meaning that I think this book can really interest many different kind of people. So people who are like professional in the arts, or just amateur, as hobby, or people that are just starting out, like fashion students, or people that want to explore watercolor. I think there are different layers to this book. Even though like the title is Watercolor Fashion, and of course like watercolor and fashion are the main theme of the book, I think there's something for everybody in the book. I think it was really quite natural. It's not like I planned it. In a way, I really just show about something about my path, by my career, and my technique, like my practice. And so I think in natural way, I show it what I do, and so it can interest different people at different levels of their career and life. So yeah, there's something I think. Yeah, of course, if you want like to learn watercolor, this could be a great book. If you want to learn about fashion nutrition, yeah, it's great. If you want to learn about both, I think it's really the perfect book.
Yeah. And as an artist, do you feel it's been a bit of a sort of an end of a chapter? Like if you think about Picasso going through Cubism, then he goes to modernism, and then he'll move to something else. Do you feel that maybe it could be the end of watercolors for you, and you might move on to something else?
So it's something I thought a lot, especially towards the end of the book when I was completing it, because I felt a sort of responsibility, about really creating a reference. I mean, I was aiming for perfection. Of course, it's not perfect, but what I meant is like it should be an example. So it should be like almost perfect because people are going to look at it to learn. And so, like, especially for the tutorials, I really try to be as perfect as possible, maybe more than in my usual work when I really try not to be that perfect, not all the time. And so I feel like actually, yeah, it's in a way the end of a chapter, meaning that I've explored fully my style, let's say, and of course I'm open to it. But I also know, like in my own experience, and I think it can be the same for you and for many illustrators, that it's a slow process. It's not like, okay, today I'm gonna do something different. I don't think it works this way. So it's a slow process, and I'm not against it at all. Like I've never been in my whole life. Like, I've always been open to new things. And like if you ever look at my work, my very early work, it's kind of different. And when I was like a teenager, I was doing oil painting, big oil painting. So it's never ending for me. So maybe yeah, I think there is, and possibly yeah. I think I'm gonna shift some stuff and yeah, see things differently. Yeah.
Because I know when people talk about style and developing a style and getting to a point where people associate that look with you, and then they can commission you and they feel comfortable. And I guess most people do talk about style and getting a style, which seems a really sort of challenging word that you feel sort of trapped a little bit.
Yeah.
Because and I know with agents as well, they want you to have a certain look and a certain way of working so they could sell it. Where if you keep jumping around and changing your technique or whatever. So I guess for you, you've established this style, and people, we know this is the Francesco look and feel, and then we could commission you, and commissioners want to feel comfortable. I don't know if you get that sort of feedback that they want to get a job done. They know you're the man to do that, and they go, just do what you do, like with the book.
I think yeah, like most of the time, yeah. Of course, since I've been doing this for a while now, I think yeah, clients and people look for me for that kind of style. But it's also true, and maybe it happens also to you, that sometimes like clients approach me with new ideas, new approaches, and so it's like, and I ask myself, I'm not sure why they're asking me that, and like most of the time, I feel like I'm not sure it's going to be good. It's going to look good. I think most of the time it's going to look good. Like it's a good idea, to move forward. But so it's a mix of both for me. I don't know, but yeah, like most of the time it's clients look for me for this kind of style. As for agents, like I don't feel like that kind of pressure with my agent, honestly. And also, like generally speaking, I don't feel that pressure about my style. I know lots of people feel that, and especially young illustrators. And I think even as a young illustrator, I never thought about that much. I don't know. I think honestly, like practicing every day in a way has been built in my style. So maybe like less thinking and more acting, more practicing. And that's what I usually say to young illustrators, for example.
And has anything since doing the book, because I remember doing a book and I got quite a lot of work from being in books. Have any big jobs come from the book since?
So I cannot for sure, but it's sort of like last month has been crazy. Like I've been working a lot, like maybe like never before. So I don't know if it's because of the book. I think, yeah, in a way, like people having a look at my profile and see that, yeah, I've done a book, I think it means something to them, to potential clients and people. So maybe it's because of that, also because of that. But yeah, so I don't know for sure, right? So that like since living in London, actually, like this last month has been, yeah, really crazy. I've been working almost all the time. I still have boxes to unpack from my moving. So I don't know, maybe I hope so. Like,
Yeah, because I guess people don't realize, and they kind of expect that life as a creative is smooth, which it never is. So it could be you have your worst year of your life, and then next year you have the best year of your life. It's so unpredictable. And
it is, yeah, I think it is. And, personally, I don't know, I think like I've been quite accepting of that, since starting this career as a freelance. I think you have to know that, there are going to be like good months not that good. And so in a way, you have to predict that, but also accept that, like, and be like positive and patient, like good things are going to come. And like personally, I think like right now, I know it's this way, but I know that like it can be very frustrating, especially when you're a beginner. And it can be also like to me as well. Like for example, I think it's the same for anyone. First months of lockdowns, we were like it was stressing and doubtful, so we know what's gonna come. So, but yeah, like in a way, you find new ways to keep working, even during lockdown, even during a pandemic.
yeah, and one thing I really admire about you is you are the best marketing person I know in the world. I was trying to think of anybody else. There's a few on the sort of Fida group that are great at marketing, and one of the things I mentioned before is the best person to get you work is yourself. And if your work's out there, whichever avenue, because I spoke about being on our website and being on Behance and having your own website and sharing on LinkedIn and being on Instagram, as many of them spaces that you're in, the more people will see your work. And I see your work. And if people are looking, or I'm sharing it or liking it, it means another group of people will see it. And I think that is what is admirable about you, is that you're really proactive. So maybe if there's a quiet period, you're there and you're consistent. You are consistent. And some people, they used to, like when I was doing more freelance work, they would say, "Oh, you're so annoying." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to a potential new commissioner. I'm not trying to get commissioned by my friends. It's more about I'm sharing it to networks of people, and that's how we get work." So, it's really, I'm so impressed with how you persistently are there, sort of going away. And I think this is what people sort of miss out on, is they think that there's one omni channel of, oh, I'm on Instagram, where I don't know, like, what's your thought process with regards to marketing? Because I think you're really good at it.
So thank you already. But honestly, I didn't see myself that way, but you're not the first one telling me so. So maybe that's kind of true. But I don't know. I think in the beginning, when I started, I saw that as part of my job, as an illustrator. So I saw that okay, it's something I have to do, like no must do, but I have to do. It's part of the job, and I think since the beginning I kept doing that, and I keep doing this every day. And so yeah, I'm consistent. I think like I've been told also by other illustrators before, someone who was like more famous than me at the time. Like you need to show people that you are active, that you're there, you're doing stuff. And I think like I kind of follow that advice, and so like it's like having I don't know a Twitter page which is like blank, after for months, it's useless. So like better not have it than have it and kept it being with tweets from I don't know 10 years ago. So I selected like a few of the social networks or other group stuff that things are like interesting, and I kept doing that. And I tried to be consistent. It's true. At the same time, I don't feel like it's necessary. I think you have seen it more illustrators that have different ways, to handle their career, their time. And I think anything it's possible, and anything is good, and there's no one solution, there's no one path. Like for me, yeah, I tried to market myself on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, but it's not like the only path. It's not like every illustrator has to do that. So, for example, I think for me also, so like you said before, you are annoying. I think I can be quite annoying, but not more, most like on Instagram, on Twitter, because I think it's okay in this case. But I think I keep, reaching out to people all the time, like really all the time. So that I think it can be annoying. At some point, I feel like what I have to lose. Like if they don't want to work with me, it's okay. If they maybe they're gonna do one day, I keep like reach out to them. So I think I can be annoying that way, and I think maybe for me, like reaching out to people with emails on Instagram, I think it's the thing that worked the most, especially in the beginning. And maybe right before that was Instagram, possibly. I'm talking about, I don't know, 10 years ago when Instagram was quite different. And so, yeah, so I think also like there's not only Instagram. So, for example, I feel like Twitter is always strong, in a way. LinkedIn is kind of the same. I think like LinkedIn is a professional network, so you never know who stumble upon your work. So yeah.
And do you get any feedback from people saying, I saw you worked on LinkedIn and I'd love to commission? Like, have you had work commission from LinkedIn or anything?
Yeah, it happened a couple of times. It happened, yeah. As also I said before, in the very beginning, it was mostly from Instagram. So I remember people sending me emails telling me I found you on Instagram. I think it was really in the first years of Instagram. I think right now, yeah, things have shifted a little. So yeah, like the more it's more about me reaching out to people, and and also like when I say also reaching out to people, most of the time I try really to pitch an idea, a product. So I think sometimes it's quite useless to say, okay, I'm here, I'm Francesco, I do this. I think you need more than that. So reach out to people and say, I'm Francesco, I do this, I can do this for you, like specifically for you, for your brand, for your aesthetic, for this event, and etc. So yeah, being like very proactive in in the very meaning of the word, really.
And well, because I guess that's the bit that really sort of intrigued me about you. And so we talk about the book as well. How has the book gone? How's the feedback?
So
Anything
I
else?
think like I think it's going good. It's going good. I don't have like the full data, I think it's too soon for that. It's been like 2 months, yeah. So I'm in contact, of course, with my publisher. So it's like too soon to say, too soon to tell. But I think it's doing good. Like if I had a look like on Amazon or people reaching out to me, the feedback, I think yeah, it's doing good. And like so far like there's a positive feedback about like really the contents of the book, like, and people telling me, oh, this bit was useful to me. I like the tutorials. I like this part. So yeah, I think it's going good.
And I guess, like for me as well, is now you've done a book, what would you like to do next?
I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I think like in a very simple way, I always say that, and it's true, you know. So before being an illustrator, I've done different kind of jobs in which I wasn't drawing, you know, and I wasn't that creative. So honestly, as long as I can keep drawing, being creative, I'm happy, honestly. So like for me, it's not it's of course I think about projects, I think about brands, I think about clients, I think about what's coming next. But for me, really, the most important thing is to keep drawing and like make a living out of it, you know. So of course, like there are some projects, there are some stuff like behind the scenes. I'm thinking about what's next, but I'm happy, honestly, with what I'm doing, and I will keep on.
No, good. And I'm trying to think what else with regards to this book, because I guess in about a few months' time you will get some feedback from the. Would you like to do another book?
I think yeah, like at some point, like nowhere now, but yeah, at some point, yeah. I think like now that I know how it works, I think I'm ready for the second one. Like this was literally my first run and my biggest project to date. I was in charge of everything, almost everything. So it was like a hard job, you know. I had the time to create it, of course, but like since I know now how it works, yeah, why not?
And when we first spoke a few years ago, I remember seeing you doing master classes with Cass Art, and you were doing a lot of live drawing. Obviously, COVID's kicked in.
Yeah.
Is there anything of them that you miss and you would like to do more again?
Oh well, like I miss everything actually. Really, I love doing the live drawing classes at Cassard. It was really amazing, and in a way, this book is kind of the follow up, let's say. And I think like I've done that for more than 2 years, so it was uh, like a learning curve for me as well. You know, I learned a lot with the relationship with the people attending my class, and I feel like some bits of that you can find them in the book. Like I gave more long answers in the book, let's say, to the questions arising during the classes, and the same goes with the live stuff. I mean, like. Going to a fashion week or working with brands and doing events, it's something that I do miss. I don't know what's going on, like what's going on, like in the next couple of months with Fashion Week, but I still hope like to be able to do that again soon. You know.
Yeah, because I guess we're starting to see little groups of people getting live opportunities of drawing live at shows. And one of the things I mentioned, like I spoke to Anya Kabul, and she works with a lot of brands, is how did you get introduced to the live arts, live fashion scene, like drawing live?
Uh, I think like it's something I worked on, you know, uh, because like for a very little while, you know, my very first fashion weeks, I was a photographer. So it's this is another story, you know, because actually I'm trained as a photographer as well. And so like when I moved to Paris, it was about 10 years ago, like my very first fashion shows was like as a photographer in the podium or backstage. And so of course I was drawing, but I it was my career at the time. I was like, okay, like I can draw, I have access to the backstage and so on. It would be great, you know, to be able to draw live during the shows, during the backstage. I think it was kind of that. And I think so for a while I worked on that idea. And so I trained a little, honestly, to be quick, you know, to learn how to be quick and to get like the burst result out of 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And so like, when I felt ready, I think I approached some brands and magazines and so on. And that's how I started. And honestly, like, I think like my very first sketches were really awful, honestly. And then, from time to time, you really learn to how to handle time in these occasions, really.
Yeah, and I guess it's a little bit like life drawing. The first six are terrible, and then
Yeah.
then you start getting your rhythm, and then you start working.
Yeah.
So it is a bit like doing a bit of warm-up training before you
Yeah,
actually
I've done that. I've done that. Yeah, like on my side, or I went to some fashion shows, but like not working for a brand, just to try out that thing, Yeah, I think, of course, you need to train a little before, like before approaching your brand, And so also like at some point I have some sketches to show, to show, okay, I've done these sketches in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, doing the show. And so it was really a way to open a conversation.
Yeah, and because I had an experience, and I'm not going to tell you the brand, but I remember when I was working for someone, and I thought, do you know what? I'll try and draw some drawings with charcoal, and I'll be really spontaneous. And they were like, "These are crap. This is what has happened to your work." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm trying to be creative." And I think you need to be creative in your own time, and when you turn up, you have to be professional. And I think where I'd worked for many clients, and I was like, I do what I want, and it proves you have to constantly, when you turn up, it's your A game, like you said. You can make mistakes, but quickly then start getting better and fixing them, because the expectation, especially from luxury brands, is we want your A game every time. You can't turn up and have a bad day, hangovers and things like that. I've heard many people talking about things like that, but just with regards to, you're there to be professional. So if you get the opportunity, professionalism is the ultimate outcome, because you're representing you, and you're sort of representing the brand while you're there in the space. While you're there, and I always notice you're very professional.
I try to.
There's a good setup, and I guess you worked out a philosophy and a way of working, and then and the watercolors really suited the speed of, and you could have a lot of color in a small space, and colors in, which I think's quite enough. Like I was saying to another speaker, where I turned up with Indian ink, someone knocked it over, it went all over me, it went all over the paper, and I'd ruined it. And I was like, that was at the beginning of the
I mean, of course, I had accidents too. Of course, like I was professional the whole time. I think time, of course, helps you. Like the more you do live stuff, the more you are fun with it, and you find your own tune. So, but I mean, something that also, like, I think I mentioned a bit in the book is about being professional, and I think like it was kind of important for me to highlight that in the book, and like generally speaking, because I mean, like, I'm sure you heard of it, like, sometimes when you say administrator, like if you say that to people that are out of the creative world, it's like, okay, so what do you do? Like my parents still wondering what I do for a living. And so like, I think like in the book, I tried also like to give some really concrete like experience of what I do and what can be done in fashion illustration and illustration, and also really trying to be as professional as possible, because I think it's part of me.
Yeah, good. So anyway, like the goal is to keep these short and sharp. I like to keep them on this sort of quick level, and it's great to hear you've picked up again, and you've made this big transformation. So where are you now? Are you in Paris or?
No, I'm actually in Lyon, which is like quite in the south. So it's quieter than Paris.
So it's a bit more relaxed, but I guess as an illustrator, you could be. I remember going on holiday and drawing on the beach,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do agree, of course. Like I adore London. I miss London. It's been great, really, and I hope to come back soon. But yeah, like as an illustrator, you can really be anywhere. Like, and there are illustrators anywhere working with bigger brands. So it's up to you.
Good. So thank you, Francesco, and I'm glad we got to speak. And I'm trying to come up with a great plan for this book, because I don't want to just give it away. I want someone to win it, either their kids win it through a beautiful drawing. So it's taken me ages to work out what I'm going to do, but I'm going to post something online about how people could win a copy of your book. And I'm glad I've got 2 copies, so one's staying with me, unfortunately.
Yeah,
my kids are having it, but one we're going to give away. And if anyone wants to have questions, they can send us some questions via, like, I'll post something online, but I'm going to put something up as well for Francesco. And as you realize, with a lot of illustrators, a lot of us are quite open for help, support, and you've been great, and Nuno's been great, and everyone's great. And I think we're all on the same sort of fun, struggling journey.
Yeah, totally. Like as I told before, like 10 years ago, I was the one reaching out to like professional illustrators to have advice. So I'm always happy if anyone reach out to me asking for advice, honestly. I think it's kind of our job as well, and to educate new illustrators and clients. So really, I'm always happy to answer whenever possible.
Thank you, Francesco. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah,
let's keep sharing and keep the conversation going. And
yeah,
I'm just finishing our book at the moment, which is so stressful. I know you like, from our first book now to our second book, it gets much harder.
Okay,
Francesco, if you imagine how hard your first book is, times it by 100.
Okay, so I will think about that. For my second one, maybe maybe 1 year, 2 years, maybe more.
You become more critical, and everything you do, you're like, I can't do that. It's like writing your second album. You can imagine the first one you do.
The critical second album, yeah.
It's very difficult, but thank you, and have a great day. And hopefully we'll speak again soon. Cheers, thank you.
Sure.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you, Francesco. Ciao, ciao, bye.